When online, lies are worse than threats. Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and I just wanted to make a video about the notion of threats on the internet as compared to lies. I have a simple rule for this, which is that when an irrational man gets upset online, he'll send a threat. And when an irrational woman gets upset online, she'll lie. Usually about having been threatened. And truthfully, the more time goes on, the more I see the lies as a lot more damaging than the threats. You see, I've been on the internet constantly for about 20 years, starting with mailing lists, then bulletin boards, and eventually social networking sites like Friendster, MySpace, Tribe.net, Facebook, and Twitter. That all said, over the years, when people talk about the hazards of internet social media abuse, they generally first bring up the threats. These days, they usually frame it as some sort of feminist issue, claiming that women who dare to have an opinion online are subject to all sorts of rape threats. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you've heard the repetitive narrative by now. It doesn't matter that the woman complaining about getting thousands and thousands of supposed rape threats daily are generally professional feminist provocateurs who make their living writing articles like this one from Lindy West, designed to be little more besides for misandrist feminists to read as vindication while they're thinking to themselves, "Fuck yeah, I hate men too." But even worse, this article was clearly designed to piss men off as well. And once pissed off, they took to Twitter to tell Lindy West why they were pissed off. At which point, Lindy West promptly played victim and pretended that she was the innocent victim of trolling for simply being a woman with an opinion on the internet, which landed her a deal with NPR where she appeared on This American Life. On the show, which I truthfully suspect being entirely staged, though I have no evidence for that, Lindy enacted a telephone conversation between an anonymous person who was allegedly one of her trolls, where they hugged it out and made up as he told her everything she wanted to hear about how the only reason he was trolling her was because he was jealous that she was happy being overweight, and he wished he had her self-confidence. And then, of course, immediately after she called a truce with the icky mean man of the internet, after being graciously apologized to, she went back to her regular provocative blogging and engaged in constant Twitter drama until she eventually had to leave Twitter because everybody finally thoroughly hated her. And then she called them all trolls and closed her account. That all said, like I already mentioned, Lindy, like every fourth wave feminist, claims to be the victim of constant threats. But what actually happens as a result of threats on the internet? Has there ever been a single reported case of a feminist having a real life altercation with somebody who had allegedly been harassing them on the internet? Or has this universally been something that these women have capitalized upon the way that Lindy West has? In all of my time on social media, and trust me, I've been on social media and am way more familiar with social media than Lindy West is, I have literally only heard a few rumors of online shit talking that actually ended up in real fights. Like, seriously, there was this rave DJ from LA who apparently used to get in a lot of online drama on message boards in the early 2000s, and it actually apparently led to a few real life fights, all between grown men, of course, and not feminists. But when that happened, it was a huge deal, and everybody in the entire rave scene seemed to have heard about it. Similarly, I've seen footage of some MMA fighter beating up a shit talker who I guess was mentally ill and spreading rumors that he had thrown a fight or something, but that's slightly to be expected in MMA world. Knowing all of that, Well, I have gotten countless social media threats, mostly last decade when I was arguing online a lot with legitimate homophobes that said they were going to gay bash me, etc. And occasionally I got some death threats for things that are too complicated to get into. While it definitely was freaky for a while, eventually you learn to mostly tune it out. Generally, I don't believe for a moment that feminist authors actually fear for their safety when they get their alleged rape threats, at least at this point in time. In fact, I'm sure they are probably giddy when they get them now, because it solidifies their victim narrative, which is also profitable and has been, that's been widely discussed, so I won't beat the dead horse about that. More so, the point I am really trying to make is that while feminists complain all day, every day about getting supposed threats, they never admit to the consequences of lying about people on the internet and the way that this actually does affect people's lives. And we all know from the case of Stephanie Guthrie versus Gregory Allen Elliott in Toronto that feminists lie a lot. But feminists aren't the only ones who lie on the internet, though they might be the worst. Justine Sacco was fired and had her life ruined for what basically boiled down to be a lie about her being racist. The same thing happened to Tim Hunt after Connie St. Louis lied about him being sexist. A few months ago, not a week went by where Kat Black wasn't sharing a photo of an out-of-context message or social media comment from somebody clearly hoping to get them in some sort of social trouble, or even fired from their job like she was likely trying to do in this instance shown here. Personally, while I've been threatened countless times and nothing ever came of it, I have been lied about more than I'll ever know, and things did actually come of it. I have lost friends over the internet due to bizarre rumors that were completely untrue. There's a group of friends in the last city I lived in that goes around telling people that I'm a meth addict, for example, and I sincerely have no idea where that even came from. The thing about lies on the internet as compared to threats is that almost unanimously, nobody who sends a threat will likely ever do anything. I am absolutely against sending threats and I do not condone it in any way. Don't send threats. It's awful behavior and it can really scare people. However, the thing about lies are that they have real consequences, very commonly. If somebody starts spreading untrue rumors on the internet that somebody is a racist, or that they are transphobic, or that they are a rapist, if somebody says such things, even if they are completely untrue, these lies are a lot more likely to lead to in-person physical violence than a stupid threat from an anonymous egg account on Twitter. So when some crybaby feminist whines about supposedly being threatened, ask her how many times she's lied on the internet this past week. And when she tells you not at all, tell her to stop lying, because she's probably well aware that she is completely full of shit as she continues to lie to you from the safety of her laptop at a coffee shop. That's all I have to say for today. Drop me a comment, help me out on Patreon if you think I seem cool, hit the bell button next to the subscribe button so that you are alerted to every moment of the day where I feel self-righteous enough to upload, and so you don't accidentally get unsubscribed from my channel, and stay tuned.